This program brought to you by State Bank of India.
Hello and welcome to How's That, where we analyze the day's proceedings of the ICC World Cup. Yesterday, after Minnows Ireland upset England, there was a lot of watchful eyes on today's matches. Two matches today between South Africa and the first one, who took on the challenge of a minnow team but completely decimated them. And in the second match, it was Pakistan also taking on perhaps one of the worst performing minnows, but that match had a scare. Well, today with me, I have in the studio former international cricketer Surinder Khanna and eminent sports journalist Mr. Srivatsa. Thank you for joining me again on the show.
Pleasure.
And let's start with the first match today. We saw South Africa in action today against Minnows Holland. Now, Holland provided a bit of a scare to England in the very first match that they played, but today South Africa went on to bat first. In fact, they were put on to bat first after Peter Boren of Netherlands won the toss, and South Africa amassed 351 runs thanks to the #1 and the #2 ranked ODI batsmen in the world, Hashim Amla as well as AB de Villiers. And in response, Netherlands could just put up 120. In fact, their 231 run loss is the fourth highest margin of victory that South Africa secured today. But what an outing for a team that is looking formidable in both batting as well as bowling. Mr. Khanna, South African batting, two of the top ranked ODI players on song today. What were your thoughts on Kallis as well as AB de Villiers?
Well, de Villiers is batting like a champion. He is in the best form of his life, I believe. He had 100 in the first game when 2 wickets were down early against West Indies. And he's carrying not only that form, but the whole year he has been batting well. He's the #2 ranked batsman in the ODIs. Not only he's batting well, he's pacing his innings and giving such a big stability to South African lineup that probably Smith and Party is feeling very happy about it. The wicketkeeper batsman is batting like a champion. Okay. And he, along with Hashim Amla, had a fantastic 221 run partnership, a mammoth partnership. And probably Canadian, the Netherlands never recovered from that. The pressure of pacing their innings, both of them. I mean, not only de Villiers, Hashim Amla needs to be complimented after being put into bat in conditions where for hour and a half the ball was seaming. It wasn't really good for stroke play that you could hit on the rise and at will. They kept them quiet for about 12 or 13 overs to about 50 runs, picked up the wicket of Graeme Smith. And then Jack Kallis as well down the line, which was a very lucky wicket for them because it was down the leg side, could have been a wide, but then the batsman nicked it. But after that, it was Amla and de Villiers all the way. Well, not only that, he played fantastic innings, it was the way he paced his innings. It was Amla who took most of the strike, and once de Villiers was in, then he took over the strike and had a strike rate of 130 plus. It was fantastic to see him score at will, and at one time it looked that maybe if he had not felt some pain in the back or going for that suicidal second run, he could have probably got a double hundred today, the way he was going great guns, you know. Well, and he was ably supported by Amla. They had a perfect understanding. Running between the wickets was fantastic. They got over the bowling and then took control. Fantastic partnership.
Well, the 221 run partnership that you talked to was the third highest partnership in World Cup of all time. It is also the highest third wicket partnership for South Africa in all one-day internationals. When these two batsmen were on display, the music was flowing for the South Africans. In fact, both picked up centuries, and as you said, it's the way they paced each other, the way they actually combined together. Hashim Amla, again, #1 ODI batsman in the world. He has an astonishing average of 66. Mr. Srivatsa, your thoughts on Hashim Amla and his contribution? If you just take a look at some of the boundaries that they hit today, just stupendous all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. See, it's the moment, you know, Amla came into the one-day side and started opening. That is the only place they thought they could bat. But suddenly, a middle-order batsman who used to build his innings,
there it is,
started playing his shots.
Very well played.
And that has got into his test also. Test also he has been started batting fluently. You know, these things always, you know, rub it off. So you start doing well in one form of the game, the other form also you start doing well, and that's exactly what is happening to South Africa today. And the batting is really amazing, the lineup, if you look at it.
And Hashim Amla today, 113 runs, 130 balls, actually does well at a run a ball, but today paced himself where 8 boundaries, 87 was his strike rate. Talking about Hashim Amla, he's actually averaged 56 runs in World Cups. He's played just recently for South Africa, 2,200 runs, but 11 centuries and 25 50s. Talk about the consistency that South Africa is getting from its batsmen. Remember, Graham Smith was one of the youngest captains when he was given the reins of South Africa. Matured into a solid player, but this time in the 3 matches, that last few matches that South Africa has played, he's not even needed to carry the team because it's these 2 batsmen, De Villiers as well as Amla, that are just providing a very solid foundation.
That is the key in one-day cricket. Anyone who opens the batting is bound to get hundreds. Nowhere else you can do it. That's why anyone coming in the middle order getting big hundreds is a big thing in one-day cricket. And you see, Sachin Tendulkar, best example, he never got 100 till he started opening. Once suddenly he started opening, see how many hundreds flowed from his bat. That's exactly everywhere. You know, whenever they promoted a middle order batsman, Mankad did for Australians as an opener.
Yep.
And here Amla is doing the same thing. So it's any technically correct batsman is bound to get big hundreds in any form of the game.
Well, indeed, you know, one, you have more overs. When T20 cricket comes big also, this is also important for the good batsmen to get strike more often. But indeed, the way these South African players are playing, if you talk about today's performance, it was exemplary, not just the batting of South Africa that put on 350 runs, but also the bowling of this contingent that completely decimated the Dutch team. In fact, it was a 231-run win that we talked about. But let's just a little more on that partnership and what this means for South Africa going ahead. Again, ABDV, Mr. Khanna, considered one of the strongest and one of the cleanest batsmen. If you actually analyze some of his stroke play today, he had everything from his trademark cover drives on over-pitch deliveries to flicks of the wrist. In fact, he even had some slaps behind the wicket, all over the wicket. His after 100, he scored 34 runs off just the next 10 balls, 3 sixes of Boesman Lutz, and a hat-trick of 4s from Duskate. Perhaps one of the finest performance of batting that we've seen in World Cup so far.
When you're in form, you know, and you're in good nick, you're timing the ball so well, once you're in, you can improvise as well. And he's a fantastic player. He uses the crease very well, and he's able to pick the ball so early. Being a wicket keeper, he has a good eye. And his statistics, if you look at 134 runs of 198 balls, strike rate of 136 plus, is, you know, probably serving a warning to all the bowlers who are going to bowl at him in the World Cup. You know, he's in such a fantastic touch. He's middling the ball, he's hitting at will, and he uses his feet as well when the slow ballers come into play. And also, you spoke about those 3 sixes in 1 over of Lutz bowling. He had a fantastic spell in the beginning. It was that over where he conceded those 3 sixes and a boundary and gave 25 runs, and his figures were absolutely, you know, end of the day, it looked he was very expensive. The first half, when he was pacing his innings, Lutz bowled with great control. But then once De Villiers got set, he got his eye in, he had the confidence. In the last 10 overs, South Africa mustered over 160 runs.
Indeed.
That was primarily because De Villiers got into his stride and he was hitting at will. And it's a big boundary, mind you.
Yep.
The square boundary on both the sides is huge at Mohali, and he was able to clear at will. That speaks volume of the confidence he is having. And this is not only in this tournament, these 200, it is how your season has been coming for the last 1 year. When you have that confidence, then you can bat against any attack and any kind of condition, whether the ball is keeping low at Kotla Firosha or it is swinging, moving, it is cloudy, there is no sunshine at the ground, bowling on top, he comes in, just gets his eye in, and then he's the boss.
Well, you know, what's interesting is de Villiers is not that old. He has quite a bit of cricket left in him, and he's also played quite a bit of cricket. In fact, he's played 45 ODIs already, and his average is 56 in the World Cup. He's already got 11 centuries and 25 half centuries, and the way he was middling the ball today, he's going to be one batsman that the rest of the teams in the World Cup will have to watch out for, and they will have to feel elated if they get him out early. Let's talk just a little bit about the Dutch bowling. Of course, not much to say there, but again, Ryan ten Doeschate, you know, this is a man that on paper he is considered the best all-rounder in the world. True that the Netherlands don't play quality teams. 65 is his batting average, 22 is his bowling average. Today also chipped in with 3 wickets. What are your thoughts on this all-rounder?
The only problem with all these minnows is they're able to bat well and they're able to put runs on the board, but their bowling is not matching with their standard of batting. See, same way, when you get about 300 runs, almost 298 runs, 292, and you are unable to stop England from getting those runs.
Indeed.
And that's the problem with most of these teams. If only they could get, and today in the other match, the other way around, they bowled out Pakistan early, they couldn't get the runs. So this is the problem with most of these teams. Invariably, Ireland and the Netherlands batted well, except the Netherlands in the last 2 matches they didn't really get runs to bowl it, but otherwise they were batting well. But once their top 2 batsmen fail, 3 batsmen, they are unable to prolong their innings. That was their biggest problem.
Well, indeed, there's so much that a one-man army of Ryan ten Doeschate can do for this Dutch team, and completely decimated for 120 when they came out to bat. Lot more to discuss. Remember, there were 2 matches today, but stay with us here on How's That right after this break.
By the time you have finished your tea, your tax is paid. That's SBI e-tax for you. Easy, convenient and secure. SBI e-tax, now just a click away.
भाई साहब, यहाँ पास में कोई SBI की ब्रांच है?
SBI का ब्रांच तो आपके जेब में है।
हाँ? यहाँ पास में SBI की कोई ब्रांच है?
आपकी जेब में ही तो है। SBI ढूंढ रहे हैं।
क्यों, जेब में नहीं है?
ये रहा SBI का ब्रांच।
स्टेट बैंक फ्रीडम यानी SBI की मोबाइल बैंकिंग, जो दे आपको बैंकिंग की हर सुविधा, कहीं भी, कभी भी।
तो हुआ ना SBI का ब्रांच आपकी जेब में।
Welcome back. You're watching How's That? 2 matches today. In the first one, South Africa put up a mammoth 351 runs on the board thanks to 134 of just 98 deliveries by AB de Villiers. Amply helped by Hashim Amla, who put on 113 runs, took 130 balls, pretty much put the match out of commission for the Dutch. But the Dutch team did have to come out to bat and then faced the fury bowling of the South Africans. Between Steyn and Morkel, South Africa has a very formidable pace attack, that we all know, but now they're playing with 2 and sometimes 3 spinners. In fact, today the spinners who did it for South Africa had to be Imran Tahir, Pakistani born, 3 wickets for 19 runs of 6.5 overs, and also Peterson, who picked up a couple of wickets. Mr. Khanna, your thoughts on Imran Tahir maturing into a key bowler for South Africa?
But Mihir, if you look at his record before playing for South Africa, 530 odd wickets under his belt, playing in Pakistan, Australia, England, and then coming to South Africa. That confidence of having those wickets now is showing on the ground after his 4 wickets in the first match. He's bowling with a lot of control, a lot of confidence. He's on the spot. Being a wrist spinner, it's not easy to put majority of your balls at the right place. Not only he's bowling his leg spinners, he's getting the flipper and the googly to work to his advantage. See his analysis, the way he bowled with so much control, and he is an attacking bowler. 6.5 overs for 19 runs, 3 wickets, strike rate of just 2.78. Fantastic spell from him. It's a treat to watch him. It's like you're watching Abdul Qadir or Shane Warne. You never know. End of the tournament, he'll be, you know, compared to these bowlers. The way he bowled today, fine, it was Netherlands, but the confidence he had, once he had the ball in his hand, he was a different person. When he was fielding at fine leg or mid wicket or somewhere, you couldn't spot where Tahir is. The moment the captain gave him the ball, there comes the man with all the confidence, all the control, and the variations which he has got, all the guiles of a professional master. It was a treat to watch him. A great thing to happen for South Africa. In their armory of Steyn, Mokal and Kallis, now they have a potent force of Tahir.
Well, indeed. And what's interesting is that Imran Tahir may not have had a chance to play for Pakistan with the depth that they have in their spinners. Had he played for other countries, perhaps no. South Africa, very interesting, very high-ranked country, but needed a spinner to go with that pace attack. But just a few words, Mr. Srivatsa, on this pace attack. Now, we haven't seen a lot of wickets for Dale Steyn, perhaps the furious fast bowler here at the World Cup. On Morkel also, 6'8" of him coming down on the bowlers. Your thought on this potent pace attack?
Here you have to note one thing. They didn't have to really bowl all out. They were all bowling 5 overs, 6 overs in every match so far. Unless they play bigger teams, you will not be able to judge them. They are playing, you know, like if you really look at it, the only 2 teams have really good attack. One is Pakistan, the other is South Africa. In fact, the backup bowlers are also much better. Dumini is a very good bowler. He can bowl. He was bowling 8-9 overs every match before they got this 5th bowler. Tahir came in. That's what I'm saying. When you look at these attacks, so they didn't have to. Today also, you see all of them bowled 5-6 overs each.
Yep.
And where is this thing to judge a fast bowler or any even spinner? If a spinner bowling 6 overs and is getting 3 wickets and bowling 5 overs and 2 wickets, there's absolutely no scope. Only when they play bigger opposition, when batsmen who can play spin.
Yep.
In fact, when Tahir plays India or others, then you can really see how good the spin is.
Well, indeed.
And also here, adding to what Sir said, it is the pace of Mokal and Steyn, the accuracy they bowl with. They put the minnows on the back foot, and then the spinners came on to bowl, and the batsmen wanted to probably go after them, score some runs, and they gave their wickets. It was the fear, psychosis used by Graham Smith, and the tendency of the batsman is to play out the overs of these stalwarts who bowl at the pace of 145 plus, and then go after the easier bowling which they thought. But it wasn't. The spinners were on the spot with all those variations, and they were bowled out for paltry 120 with just one batsman getting 40 odd, because they don't play this kind of fast bowling. It is here in the World Cup they are facing Steyn, Mokal and other Kimar Roche and bowlers of that class, and they just try to stick around there. And this was a wicket where you needed great technique and temperament and to convert that into scores. They were only on the defensive. Even the 44 runs scored by one of their players took him 66 balls. He was always, you know, there on the defensive. He couldn't get on top of the bowling.
34 overs, 35 overs to get 120 runs for a one-day cricket. For them it's okay, as minnows who have played 35 overs, so that means you can play kind of thing. But look at the average, how they got it.
Well, yeah, I mean, indeed, you know, this match, unfortunately, will not help the debate on the side of the minnows for the next World Cup. This was completely one-sided. I mean, the batting completely outclassing the Netherlands. And if you take a look at some of the fall of wickets too and see the way the South African attack accounted for all of the Dutch innings, you'll see that's the first ball that was bowled by Jacques Kallis, got cotton bowled there in this wicket. And then just across all over the place, it was just wickets falling. LBW caught, bowled all over the place, all the spinners. Robin Peterson picking up 2 wickets, Imran Tahir 3 wickets, JP Dumini 1 for 16 of his 6 overs, and it was just game over for Netherlands from about the 20th over mark.
They were searching for the ball actually.
Indeed, indeed. Dale Steyn 1 for 24. The 1 wicket does not do justice to the fury spell that he bowled. Morny Morkel did deserve some wickets, but bowled a tight spell, just 3.6 runs in over. Jacques Kallis, his first ball got a wicket. That was enough to give the South African bowling the confidence that they needed. And Imran Tahir and Peterson in their spin bowling completely cleaned up the Dutch side. The second match in a row that the Dutch team now needs to do some thinking. Yes, they have Ryan ten Does Carter, but they are on the world stage, blasting just 34 overs, making 120 runs when the target is 351. Does not cut it. This team needs to do some soul searching. They still have a couple of important teams to play against. India will be taking on the Netherlands also a bit later, and that's going to be an interesting match to see how the Netherlands come out. Let's get just a match summary right now of this first match that was played a little earlier in the morning. It was a Group A match between Netherlands and South Africa. As we said, in the South Africa in 50 overs put on 351 runs, 134 runs of 98 deliveries for AB de Villiers, and Hashim Amla ably supported him in a 221 run stand, 113 for him. Ryan Descartes, 3 wickets for 72 runs. Netherlands in response, well, they scored less than what AB de Villiers scored, 14 runs less. The entire team scuttled out in under 35 overs. Baresi was the only player from the Netherlands that offered any resistance. This team needs to go back and do some rethinking, Mr. Khanna.
Well, they need to. They must learn. The captain says it is a learning curve for them. They must learn quickly and perform better in the matches to come. But today it was a fantastic, an excellent bowling side, backed and complemented by outstanding fielding as well. Let's not forget that. South Africans is a fantastic fielding side. The catch which Mankad took running about 15-20 yards on the boundary. Graham Smith, captain, getting a run out, direct throw. You can't, you know, do well against a side which doesn't give an inch, you know, to you. You got to really bat well to score against them.
Well, indeed, as you said, batting, bowling, but also fielding is what will decide, if not the majority of matches so far, but definitely the tighter matches when we get to the later stages of the tournament. Let's get a quick look at that points table as it turned out after the matches today. Again, in Group A, things clearing up a little bit. Of course, India having that 1 win as well as 1 tie, perched near the top of that table. But South Africa, 2 matches, 2 convincing wins, topping the table at 4. India again tied with England, but remember, England has 1 loss to go that India doesn't. West Indies and Ireland gunning for that 4th spot, and also Bangladesh. Interestingly, tomorrow the West Indies will take on Bangladesh in what could be a decider for the 4th place, unless Ireland has more plans of spoiling better teams' parties.
Well, the way they played yesterday, it was fantastic. Kevin O'Brien, Kovac and Moni, they did a fantastic job for their side, and arch rivals England especially. And not many people know that 8 of their players are now playing as professionals, and they brought that experience into play against England. And 111 for 5, many people switched off their sets, but after an hour saw that they are still on. It's 5 wickets down, 200 runs plus on the board. Kevin O'Brien had different ideas, and not only he had ideas, he had the confidence, and he converted that confidence into performance and played one of the finest innings of the World Cup.
One of the finest innings.
Fastest 100 of 50 balls. And it was good, correct, clean hitting. Fantastic display from that partnership of 160 odd with Kovac. It was fantastic to watch.
Well, indeed, if there were just more matches that produced what the England-Ireland match produced yesterday. But remember, there's another match where the Minnows almost upset the Pakistani party. We discussed that match, but right after this short break. Stay with us here on How's That?
भाई साहब, यहाँ पास में कोई SBI की ब्रांच है?
SBI का ब्रांच तो आपके जेब में है।
हाँ? यहाँ पास में SBI की कोई ब्रांच है?
आपकी जेब में ही तो है। SBI ढूंढ रहे हैं।
क्यों, जेब में नहीं है?
ये रहा SBI का ब्रांच।
स्टेट बैंक फ्रीडम यानी SBI की मोबाइल बैंकिंग, जो दे आपको बैंकिंग की हर सुविधा, कहीं भी, कभी भी।
तो हुआ ना SBI का ब्रांच आपकी जेब में। हाँ?
जब तक आप अपनी चाय खत्म करेंगे, आपके टैक्स का भुगतान हो चुका होगा। ये है SBI ई-टैक्स आपके लिए, आसान, सुविधाजनक और सुरक्षित। SBI ई-टैक्स, अब बस एक क्लिक की दूरी पर।
Welcome back. You're watching How's That? It's been a busy day at the World Cup. 2 matches. One of an established side dominating a minnow team, and the other one perhaps giving an established Pakistani team nightmares and some memories of the last World Cup. In the second match today, Pakistan took on Canada, and they thought they could just run over their opponent. In fact, Shoaib Akhtar was rested for this match, but guess what? At the end of the first innings, Pakistan put up just 184 runs on the board and lasted only 43 overs against an attack from Canada that is made up of some professionals, some part-time players, and all expats. 184 runs from this Pakistani team. a disappointment. Mr. Srivatsa, the openers, first of all, Mohammad Hafiz and Ahmed Shehzad, third match in a row that they've not performed.
Absolutely. That's their biggest problem. See, even then 184 runs can't be explained against a team like Canada. I can understand. I mean, of course, the bowling was good today. The wicket was also a little dicey in the beginning. In fact, both the matches, you can see the number of LBWs which have been given in both the matches today, and that explains the bounce is slowly going off the pitches after 1 or 2 matches have played on the same pitch. So this is another problem with this tournament now. And now as the games progress, and when the sun comes out, if you play down south, and there will be summer now, then you should see where the big wickets, what will happen to those pitches. So this is 184, even then it can't explain. I can understand if they're getting bowled for 184 against better teams, but not certainly against Canada. And as you said, nobody scored actually, and their batting is all coming lower down. Today Yunis also failed, Misbah got runs a little bit, and otherwise when you look at it, nobody has, Umar Akmal and Misbah only bailed them out a bit.
Well, indeed, if they didn't have this partnership, Pakistan could be looking to make one of their lowest scores in World Cup history. I mean, it was again for the third match in a row that veteran Misbah-ul-Haq contributed. He had 37. In fact, he's had 2 half-centuries in the first 2 matches. 37 runs, took 68 balls, but steadied the innings. Just 1-4, very uncharacteristic for Misbah. Strike rate of 54. And he was ably supported again for the third match in a row where Umar Akmal had come out. He missed his half-century by 2 runs. But Mr. Khanna, again, the batting under pressure that Misbah and Umar showed today. For the third match in a row, Misbah is turning out to be the tower for the Pakistani batting, where the others are having more inconsistent performances.
He's an experienced campaigner, probably. He's the calming effect on the Pakistan batting. He, along with Yunis Khan, 2 of the most experienced guys in the side. And when 4 wickets were down for 67, he added about 73 with Umar Akmal, who is a youngster. With all that belligerence, he played the shots, counter-attacked the bowling, which was on top, and they added that 73 runs, which gave a stability to Pakistan team's total in the end, which proved to be too much for the minnows, you know. And they not only got over that initial line and length and the control which Canadian bowlers had over them, over their batsmen, the way they were turning the ball, there was seam, there was swing, there was movement, and the Canadians need to be complimented for bowling with control and a lot of confidence. Indeed. And the fielders also supporting them. So it was a fantastic performance from their bowling, which in the earlier matches was carted all over the park. So fantastic bowling performance and fielding performance from Canadians against a strong batting lineup of Pakistan. But then Misbah-ul-Haq is very experienced, and he brought that experience into play, and he played second fiddle to Umar Akmal, rotated the strike, gave him more strike to Umar Akmal, who was playing his shots, though he missed his half-century by 2 runs. But it was a fantastic partnership, and that laid the foundation where they reached about 184. Not batted 50 overs again, you know.
Indeed. In fact, they only lasted.
I think Misbah is batting a little low for his this thing, because he is another guy who is a big innings builder. In fact, he should go a little up, I suppose. Of course, 5 is not a bad place for any batsman. But I thought, looking at the way he is batting, he is in form and he is really getting runs for them. Maybe he could go a little up. I mean, in place of Kamran Akmal. Of course, Kamran is only a lottery if he hits out and gets runs. Otherwise, I mean, they are using it like that. But why allow a wicket to be?
What I personally feel, what Shrivastava Sahab, they are trying is first 3 batsmen go after the bowlers. Even if you lose wickets, then we have got Yunis Khan and Misbah-ul-Haq. To use that first 10 overs, and if the bowling side takes another 5 overs, go after the bowlers, get quick runs on the board. If we lose wickets, then we have got Yunis Khan and Misbah-ul-Haq, 2 of the most experienced batsmen in the Pakistan lineup, to steady the ship. They are going with that game plan. It is working for them. Today, it worked a little, that they were able to still manage 184 in the end.
Are not doing well, maybe they could have tried pushing him up, because if the openers are giving a good start, then it's okay. I mean, Misbah can really bat low.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern for Pakistan side to get their openers to fire. If they don't, it's too much pressure. on the middle order, and they can also fail, like Yunus Khan did today.
Yes, exactly.
Very true.
Indeed. Well, you know, there's a little bit of danger in making a middle order batsman an opening bowler. I think we know that from experience. But indeed, the way Misbah-ul-Haq is eyeing the ball, the way he's middling the ball, 3 matches in a row is no fluke, folks. And again, he showed his class. He was though ably supported by Pakistan's highest run scorer, Umar Akmal. Again, played another innings. Kamran Akmal had a score that was getting to be respectable, but not really today. And then Umar Akmal came about and showed some classy batting.